Okay, Shalom. Call Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who were well taught in His truth. And peace and salutations unto you, Akim, that's pushing His truth with all truth and sincerity. On the brother Yashar, Kabar, back to you again with another lesson. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying unto the elect. All right. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into it. All right. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 9, verse 1. And it reads, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs pass, which I had told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time which the highest will begin to visit the world, which he made. Yeah, so and this is how you ought to be, all right, in these times, measuring the times, man, diligently, you know, watching out for prophecy, keeping up with the news, what's going on in the world, all right, not just sleeping on a fucking rock, man, which is a scary thing, all right, to be in the mind frame of, all right, in these times, man, all right, all this shit that's going on in the world, all right, it's all part of prophecy, all right, which the Lord told you to look out for, all right, what to expect, all right, wars, rumors of wars, pestilence, earthquakes, uproars, all right, all these are signs, man, all right, of the Lord visiting this place, all right, and how it's looking. Hey, we don't have long, man, hey, the Lord is getting ready to destroy this place, all right, hey, we moving closer and closer, all right, to the MOT being established, which is the C-hip, all right, this devil, he's ready to C-hip you, man. But hey, these are things you're supposed to know and look out for, all right, and line it up, all right? So it says what? Then shall thou understand that is the very same time which the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Verse 3, Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Yeah, do you not have earthquakes? All right, many earthquakes, man, and many uproars, all right? You had protests and riots and majority of every state, and every country, all right? Uproars of the people. Verse 4 says, Then shall thou understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Yeah, because it was all been written out from the beginning, all right, what's to come. All right, what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, all right? Hey, we have the blueprint, the ones that have the 100% truth, all right, starting with our elders on down, apostles, Great Millstone, with the 100% truth, man, so, hey, it's been spoken on, man. Verse 5, it says, For like all that is made in the world has a beginning and the end is manifest. Yeah, everything has a beginning and an end. All right, we've seen examples. All right, we've seen empires rise, had a beginning. All right, and then fall. Great empires, man. All right, which in that time, I'm pretty sure, hey, those people, they thought, that they'd never be, taken out of power, All right, but it happened because it's all part of the Lord's will, the Most High will, man. So the scripture says what? Everything has a beginning and an end, and we in the end of Esau Edom's rulership, all right, an end of age, a kingdom being translated to another, all right, which the scripture says what? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Yeah, because it's not going to be Moab, it's not going to be, the Russians, all right, no, it's going to be Israel, all right, under Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, that the kingdom of heaven is going to be established here on earth, all right, but this place is going to be taken out, all right, and this is what we patiently waiting on, man, all right, but You know, and how you know that we in the end. All right, prophecy. All right, because all the shit that's going on in this world is, you know, it's all part of prophecy, man. You know, and this is what you have to look out for. All right, so let's jump into this. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 6 in the NLT. For I was angry with my chosen people and punished them by letting them fall into your hands. Yeah, who is the Lord's people, man? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, natives, you know, the Israelites, you know, and the Lord was angry. Why was that? For going off, worshiping idols, you know, not, you know, disobeying. All right, the Lord, you know, laws, commandments. All right. So it says, and let them fall into your hands. But you, Babylon, showed them no mercy. You oppress even the elderly. You said, I will reign forever as queen of the world. You did not reflect on your actions or think about your consequences. Yeah, and that's the pride of this devil. All right, you this Babylon, man. You know, you Babylonians. All right, you modern day Babylon. All right, Esau, Edom. All right, America, Babylon the Great. All right, you know, and show no mercy. All right, so yeah, he's not going to receive mercy either. All right, and that's the pride of this devil, man. All right, he thinks he's going to reign forever. I believe in Psalms, the scripture says what you know, he thinks he's going to rule generation after generation. All right, but yeah, that's the pride of him, man. You know, and that's what makes it even better. All right, when this devil, you know, thinks, you know, he's gonna continue on, you know, he thinks, hey, there's not going to be a consequences for his actions. You know, hey, you reap what you sow. And this devil, he done sown a lot of wickedness. You know, he didn't oppress Israel. All right, got you in the slums, the ghettos, doing experiments on Jake. You know, all right, you know, look at the Epstein files, you know. All right, and that's the spirit of Esau, Edom. You know, they try to show Epstein face, you know, as it's just this one person. All right, make that name so known. But, hey, that's the spirit of Esau, Edom. Eating children, you know, having sex with children, disease infected, drinking blood, you know, all that shit, man. All right? Hey, that's the spirit of them. All right, that's why hey, this place has to go. All right? This is why the Lord is going to destroy this place, man. And wipe out all the fashions of this world, man. All right? So it says what? You did not reflect on your actions or think about the consequences. Yeah, this devil, he didn't think about the consequences. All right? He didn't think about what's come with all the wickedness he didn't sown in the earth. He didn't think about what he's going to reap. All right? Now let's move on. I'll speed this up a little bit. Isaiah chapter 24, verse 5 in the NLT. The earth suffers from the sins of its people, for they had twisted the Most High instructions and violated his laws and broken the everlasting covenant. Yeah, so this world, you know, is contrary, all right, to the Lord's laws. You know, they're against the Most High. They are against, you know, righteousness, man. You know, they turn things upside down. All right? All right, this is why the Lord is going to wipe this place out. You know? It says what? They have twisted the Most High instructions and violated his laws. Yeah, they twisted everything up, man. You know? Everything is backwards. man being with man, woman being with woman. All right. Just seen the other day, you had a woman betraying to be a man, and then you had a fucking man, some Edomites at that, you know, a man with a damn dress on, portraying to be a damn woman holding hands. That's the man. How wicked can you get? How bugged out can you get, man? All right, but that's the vibration of this world. All right, and that's why you can't trust anyone outside of this truth. You can't put it past no one outside of this truth. All right, because they follow the instructions of this world, of Esau, Edom. All right, they don't have no, boundaries with them. They don't know the Lord. And that's why you can't be, of this world, man. All right? So, let's move on. See what else we have. Because the Lord is, exposing the wickedness of Esau, Edom. All right? The book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 17. For there is nothing secret that should be made manifest, neither anything hid that should not be known and come abroad. Yeah, and this is why everything is coming abroad. We living in the information age. When something happened, everything get exposed. And it's to the point, hey, this devil, he can't stop it. All right. His left hand. His sorcery. All right. His Satan worshiping. All that shit is being exposed. All right, how? All right. Let's see. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed. Yeah, the wicked is being revealed. Who is the wicked? All right, Esau, Edom. All right, he is the wicked. All right. It says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And who's the Lord's mouth? All right, the prophets. All right. That's why they're against, the teaching, because the prophets are on the scene, man. All right. This is why they take down your videos, strike your page, It says what? Shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Yeah, so the Lord is exposing, all right, the wicked, all right, through the prophets, and a lot of these podcasters that you see, whistleblowers, they watch the prophets, they watch the men of the Lord, they get a lot of information from brothers, all right, and and it's all through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Making their own tongues fall upon themselves. But it's all, through the spirit of the Lord, man. All right? From the prophets that exposing the wickedness, the Satan worshiping, how you people don't truly love the Lord. Even all the way down to you Christianity, niggas, man. All right, you JC loving. All right, you pork chop eating. Cigarette smoking niggas, man. All right, this is why the Lord is going to destroy 2/3. All right. So it says what? Shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So hey, the Lord is going to destroy Esau, Edom. He's going to destroy America, all right? Babylon the Great, and he's going to destroy 2/3 who want to hold hands with this place, who want to hold hands with the devil, all right? Who's going to partake in, receiving that C-hip, all right? Which is that last prophecy, being the C-hip, man, all right? And we're getting closer and closer. You know? Yeah, you have people have it already, man. Look out there in Sweden. You know? This whole infrastructure is being set up, all right, for the CHIP, all right? It's technology, 6G towers, you know, nanobots in you, you know, all this, you know. But this is what this devil's playing, all right? This is his NWO, all right? Bringing in that MOTB, all right? And he wants to CHIP you, all right? And if you do, you receive that, all right, you're going to be destroyed, you know? All right, and this is why you're supposed to be conditioning yourself, all right, to be set apart from this world, you know? Don't follow after the ways of this world, man. You know? Don't get used to the shit that's going on in this world. Your job, your woman, your family. Don't get used to none of this shit. Because all this shit is going to backfire, all right, on those, you know, who's not keeping the ways of the Lord. All right? Who's not working out their own salvation. All right? Through this truth, you know, we receive hope. You know, hey, we hoping, all right, to be part of that elect. You know, because if you're not part of the elect, are you going to be destroyed? Point blank. All right, so, you know, Lord willing, you know, this video was edifying into the elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory into Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and give double honors into the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Till next time, say Shalom.